The joyful engagement party of Amara and David. The gathering filled to the brim, as
Today is the
everyone was
happiest
happy
day
for
of
the
my
couples.
life,
You always say that.
because every day with you feels like a blessing.
Your sister is lucky. Yes. Are you okay? I'm fine.
Amara dropped the engagement ring on the floor as the entire celebration went silent. The sound of the small diamond ring hitting the marble floor felt louder than the hundreds of people who had gathered to celebrate what was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. Everyone stared at her. Her younger sister, Chisholm, stood in front of the crowd with tears rolling down her cheeks, one hand resting on her stomach. "Say it again," Amara whispered, her voice shaking. "Say exactly what you just said." Chisholm looked at her sister with a painful expression. "I said you cannot marry David because he is the father of my child." A wave of shock moved through the crowd. Amara looked at David, hoping he would laugh, deny it, or tell everyone this was some terrible misunderstanding. But David only stood there, frozen. "David?" Amara asked, her eyes filling with tears. "Tell me she is lying." David immediately shook his head. "Amara, I swear to you, I have no idea what she is talking about." Chisholm cried harder. "Of course you would say that. You always make yourself look innocent." Amara looked between the two people standing before her. The man she loved and the sister she trusted more than anyone in the world. Just a few minutes earlier, she had been smiling. She had been imagining her future with David. She had believed nothing could destroy their happiness. Now, her entire world was falling apart. Chisholm, their mother, Mama Ngozi, shouted. "What kind of shame are you bringing into this family?" Chisholm turned toward her mother. "Shame? Mama, was I not part of this family too? Or was everything always about Amara?" The words cut deeper than anyone expected. Amara stared at her sister. "What are you saying?" Chisholm wiped her tears. "You got everything first, Amara. You were always the smart one. The responsible one. The daughter everyone praised. And now you have the man I love." Amara's eyes widened. "The man you love." David stepped forward. "Chisholm, stop this. You know very well that nothing ever happened between us." But Chisholm looked at him with anger. "Nothing happened. Are you really going to stand there and pretend you never noticed me?" The crowd became uncomfortable. Amara felt her heart breaking. "Chisholm, you are my sister," she said softly. "How could you do this to me?" For years, everyone had believed Amara and Chisholm were inseparable. They had grown up sharing everything. They shared clothes, secrets, dreams, and even their mother's struggles. When their father died, Amara became the second parent in Chisholm's life. She sacrificed her own happiness many times just to make sure her younger sister had opportunities. But somewhere along the way, love turned into resentment. 6 months earlier, before this terrible night, Amara had met David at a charity event. She had not been looking for love. She had been focused on building her career and helping her family. But David was different. He respected her. He listened to her. He admired her strength. After their first conversation, he smiled and said, "I have met many beautiful women, but there is something different about you." Amara laughed. "Different how? You don't try to impress anyone. You are just yourself." Those words stayed with her. Their relationship grew slowly. David met her family, and everyone loved him. Everyone except Chisholm. At first, nobody noticed. Whenever Amara talked about David, Chisholm smiled. Whenever David visited, Chisholm welcomed him. But inside, something was changing. One evening, Chisholm watched from the doorway as David placed a necklace around Amara's neck. "You deserve the best," David told Amara. Chisholm looked away. That night, she cried alone. "Why does she always get everything?" she whispered. She remembered all the moments she felt invisible. When Amara won awards at school. When relatives praised Amara's maturity. When neighbors said, "Your elder sister is such a blessing." Nobody ever said those things about Chisholm. And slowly, jealousy began replacing love. When David proposed to Amara, the entire family celebrated. But Chisholm felt like something had been taken away from her. She told herself she was not jealous. She told herself she only wanted David because he understood her. But deep down, she knew the truth. She wanted to prove she could take something Amara valued. And now, standing in front of everyone, she had finally made her move. Back at the engagement party, Amara picked up the ring from the floor. Her hands were trembling. "Chisholm," she said, fighting back tears, "if what you are saying is true, why did you wait until today?" Chisholm became quiet. The question struck her. Amara stepped closer. "Why did you allow me to plan this wedding? Why did you smile in my face? Why did you stand beside me and pretend to be happy?" Chisholm looked away. "Because nobody would listen to me." Amara shook her head. "No. You never tried to talk to me. You chose to destroy me." David looked at Chisholm with disappointment. "I trusted you because you were Amara's sister." Those words hurt Chisholm more than she expected. For the first time, she realized she was not only fighting for a man. She was destroying the only person who had always stood by her. But instead of admitting it, she lifted her chin. "I don't care what any of you think. I know the truth." Mama Ngozi covered her face, crying. "My daughters, how did you become enemies?" Nobody had an answer. Because the truth was worse than anyone imagined. This fight was not about David anymore. It was about years of hidden pain, jealousy, and wounds that had never healed. And before the night ended, one shocking secret would change everything. Chisholm stood in the middle of the celebration hall, surrounded by whispers and judgmental eyes. The same people who had come to bless Amara's marriage were now watching a family collapse before them. Amara looked at her younger sister, hoping to see regret in her eyes. But all she saw was anger. "Chisholm," Amara said quietly, "look at me." Chisholm slowly raised her head. "I spent my whole life protecting you. When Mama couldn't pay your school fees, who begged for extra work to help you? When you failed your first interview, who encouraged you not to give up? When everyone gave up on you, who stood beside you?" Chisholm's lips trembled. But she said nothing. "Me," Amara continued. "I was always there for you." Tears fell from Chisholm's eyes. "Don't act like you saved me because you loved me," she replied. "You loved being the perfect sister. You loved everyone praising you for helping me." Amara stepped back as if she had been slapped. "Is that really what you believe?" Chisholm looked away. "Do you know how it feels to always be compared to you? Do you know how it feels when people say, 'Why can't you be more like Amara?'" Mama Ngozi shook her head. "Chisholm, comparison does not give you the right to betray your sister." Chisholm turned toward her mother. "And what about my pain? Did anyone ever ask me how I felt?" The room became silent. For a moment, everyone saw the wounded little girl hiding behind Chisholm's anger. But the damage had already been done. David moved closer to Amara. "Let's leave," he whispered. Amara looked at him. "I don't know what to believe anymore." David's face fell. "Amara, please. You know me." She looked into his eyes, searching for the man she had trusted. I thought I knew everyone. That sentence broke David. Are you saying you doubt me? Amora didn't answer. And that silence hurt him more than any accusation. As guests slowly began leaving, Chisholm watched David and Amora standing apart. She expected to feel victorious. She expected happiness. But instead, she felt empty. The man she wanted was looking at her with disappointment, not love. The next morning, the entire town was already talking. Some people believed Chisholm. Others defended David. But everyone agreed on one thing. The sisters who once looked inseparable were now enemies. At home, Mama Ngozi sat between her daughters. Her eyes were swollen from crying. I raised two beautiful girls, she said. I never imagined I would see the day you would fight each other like strangers. Neither sister spoke. Finally, Amora broke the silence. I need the truth. She looked at Chisholm. Did David ever tell you he loved you? Chisholm hesitated. That hesitation answered everything. Amora noticed. Chisholm. Chisholm looked down. No. The room went silent. Did he ever promise you a future? No. Did he ever touch you? Chisholm didn't respond. Mama Ngozi stood up. Answer your sister. Chisholm whispered. No. Amora closed her eyes. Pain crossed her face. Then why? Chisholm started crying. Because I was tired. Tired of what? Tired of being nobody. Her voice echoed through the house. I was tired of watching you succeed while I stayed behind. I was tired of everyone calling you the good daughter. The responsible daughter. The one who deserved happiness. Amora wiped her tears. So you decided I didn't deserve it? Chisholm looked away. I didn't plan for things to go this far. Amora laughed bitterly. But you stood in front of everyone and destroyed my engagement. I was desperate. No, Amora replied. You were jealous. The word hit Chisholm hard. For years, she had refused to admit it. But now she couldn't escape it. Days passed, and the wedding was postponed. David stopped visiting. He stopped answering Chisholm's calls. He spent most of his time trying to convince Amora that he was innocent. One evening, he met her at the place where they first confessed their feelings. I miss you, David said. Amora looked at him. I miss who I was before all this happened. David lowered his head. I never betrayed you. I know, she whispered. David looked surprised. Then why are you pushing me away? Amora's eyes filled with tears. Because my heart doesn't know how to trust anymore. David reached for her hand. I will wait. She pulled away gently. Don't wait for someone who may never be the same again. Meanwhile, Chisholm was becoming desperate. She called David repeatedly. He refused to answer. Finally, she went to his office. When David saw her, his expression changed. What do you want? Chisholm swallowed. I want us to talk. There is nothing to talk about. David, please. He looked at her. Do you understand what you did? Chisholm cried. I was hurt. So you hurt everyone else? She had no answer. You destroyed your sister's happiness because you wanted something that was never yours. Those words shattered her. For the first time, Chisholm realized she might lose everything. Not just David. Not just her family. But the sister who once loved her more than anyone. Then, just when everyone thought the worst was over, a shocking discovery came out. Chisholm's closest friend, Adiz, had been carrying a secret for months. A secret that would reveal whether Chisholm had told the truth. Or whether the entire accusation had been a carefully planned lie. To be continued. If you enjoyed this emotional family drama, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below. Should Amora forgive her sister? Your comments help us bring more powerful stories like this one.